giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by Boston Scientific. We stream it live on YouTube and Facebook. And of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! Oh yeah. It is Hump Day, Wednesday. Really easy show. Coming up, we're going to talk about how the brass, the Stephen Jones of the world, sounds off on the Cowboys off season. He's talking Tyler Smith, where they view him. He's talking NFL draft, specific position, tight ends, right? And then in the roundup, another easy mock draft. Todd McShay drops a three-round mock draft. A lot of weapons. Plus, Dak Prescott also sits down with one Adam Schefter. So we'll get into all that. By the way, y'all, my apologies if y'all hear what's happening. Next door, my neighbors got the lawn maintenance people here. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. But we'll fight through it. Please fight through it with me, and we'll be all right. But, jeez, I can hear it right now real bad. My bad, y'all, man. My bad. Look, it is what it is. Appreciate y'all for being here, Bomb Squad.
Squad!
Easy show. I mean, I'm borderline ready to press. Where is it at? Borderline ready to roll out the TV today. This might be one of the shorter shows of the off season as we start to get closer and closer to this draft. There's not a whole lot out there right now news wise. A lot of teams are keeping things close to the vest. They don't want to say too much. They don't want to do too much. Free agency is pretty much going to be at a halt for the most part until, post draft. Teams aren't really looking to spend a whole lot of money until they see what their squad looks like after the fact. So, and it's funny because Dak actually talks about that with Ezekiel Elliott. But yeah, man, I just think that right now it's pretty tough to get anything crossing the wire. So this is where kind of we got to be a bit creative here. And fortunately, Steven went on 105.3 The Fan, and he said some things. And as always with the Joneses, a lot of things are fluff, but there are some things you can pull out of there and you can dissect and talk about. And that's what we're going to do. We got a handful of clips and we'll listen to those. And that'll be that, man. Call into the show if you want. 351-999-3787. I see McKay said the roller TV brings me back 100%. That's why I use it, man. I remember those days when you saw that rolling TV coming out, you knew it was an easy day. I could take a nap. I could chill. I could doodle, whatever you wanted to do, man. Whatever you wanted to do. All right. I wish I had a massive estate. Now I am going to have these guys come back tomorrow and do our lawn, but they doing theirs today, and it is kind of annoying, not gonna lie to you, because it starts right as we're doing the show, but it is what it is, man. Y'all here, we gonna do what we gotta do and have a fantastic show. So let's go ahead and hit this roundup.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
Time.
It's time!
Time?
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Oh, they do it! Hey! Oh, they do it!
Hey, yo. I did cutting that grass. So Dak Prescott sat down with Adam Schefter. And look, Schefter might be a great insider. His interviews are kind of boring to me, but and he spoke with Dak. So of course we're going to try to see what we can find within that audio that Dak Prescott mentioned to Schefter. Now Dak is a pro's pro when it comes to these interviews. He knows how to say a lot without saying nothing. But he did speak a little bit on Brandon Cooks. Remember, they had their first day, I believe it was Monday, of off-season workouts. So that was the first time he got a chance to throw to Brandon Cooks. And he said, quote, "It was very exciting to throw to him today. The guy is different. That is real speed." The Cowboys have been so reluctant on bringing in legitimate offensive wide receiver speed threats, right? Like not the Turpins of the world, but the Brandon Cookses of the world. So Dak gets a guy finally, right? And Dak like, damn, that mup fast. And I love it, man. So he's excited to have that speed on offense. I don't think it's going to take long for Dak to get in a rhythm with Brandon Cooks. We kind of mentioned this over the last couple seasons. When you look at guys like Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, it didn't take long for Dak Prescott to get in a rhythm with those dudes. And then when you bring in an exceptional talent like a CD Lamb, and he could kind of just fit in with things, and he's not, the feature guy where it's a whole lot on his plate. It didn't take long to click with CD Lamb when he could, be the second, third type guy. I feel the same way with Brandon Cooks. I don't think it's going to take long for him to click with Brandon Cooks, especially since Cooks has been around the block. He's played with multiple quarterbacks. He's played in multiple systems, and he's played with some Super Bowl winning head coaches. This will be the third Super Bowl winning head coach, if I'm not mistaken. Fourth. Sean McVay, Sean Payton, Mike McCarthy, Bill Belichick. So Cooks knows how to integrate himself within a new team, within a new system, within a new quarterback. And the same can be said for Dak in regards to integrating himself with veteran wide receivers. So I think this is going to be a match made in heaven. I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for mini camps just to kind of get the footage of seeing these two being on the same page. So goodbye to a bunch of these option routes. Hello to a lot of these speed routes, and I'm excited for it. Dak also was asked about Ezekiel Elliott. And, of course, Adam Schefter had to bring that up, right? And when he was asked about the possibility of Ezekiel Elliott returning to the Cowboys, he said, quote, "That sure would be nice. There are a lot of people not only on the team, but in the organization that would love that. I'm sure Zeke would as well. Hopefully that could happen." That's his boy. I get it. Is one of his best friends. They have a real life brother relationship off the field. Of course, he would welcome him back. Until it's done, I don't even think that we can fully rule it out either. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dallas should come away with a running back in this draft pretty easily. But if for some strange reason they decide not to do that, for some strange reason they wait till round 7 or undrafted and they feel cornered to bring him back, that could be a possibility. But right now, I'm going to say that's a no until we see what happens here in the draft. Of course, he wants him back, but I don't see it happening right now. Speaking of running backs, Todd McShay's latest 3-round mock draft for the Dallas Cowboys goes as this. First round, they get Quentin Johnston, wide receiver out of TCU. Second round, they get tight end Sam Laporta, tight end out of Iowa. And third round, they get running back Kendre Miller, back out of TCU. So they get the two TCU teammates and the receiving threat of Sam Laporta at tight end. Interesting about the Sam Laporta thing, because we're going to listen to Stephen Jones a little bit here, and he's going to talk about tight end. And low key, Laporta doesn't fit exactly what Stephen was talking about and what the Cowboys historically do for their tight end 1 types, but tight end 2, part of the room. I think we can see that happening. But what would you guys say about this type of mock here? Quentin Johnston, Sam Laporta, Kendre Miller. Y'all know me. I really would love to get a guard here in the top 3 rounds. In every single mock draft possible, I'm giving the Cowboys a guard in the top 3 rounds. But Johnston and Laporta, I mean, it gives you a way to kind of easily transition into the wide receiver room if you move off of Gallup. If Cooks is gone after a year or two, you kind of keep those weapons replenishing there. Laporta feels much more like a tight end 2 to me. complement to an all-around tight end. I kind of view him in a Peyton Hendershot type of role, move around, line him up out wide. Not going to ask him to do a lot of inline things. But this is definitely a weapon heavy draft right here for Todd McShay. Doesn't really address the interior on either side of the ball. But, hey, get a ton of weapons. You get a ton of weapons. Let's see over here how y'all feel about this one here. Nick says no DT. Reggie says it's okay. Take out the tight end and give us a guard. I'll be happy with that. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, if in any of these mock drafts, if I can get a guard in the top 3 rounds, it's really going to be hard for me to hate what happens around that. And that could be a Sky, but you're pressing for a need. Maybe a little bit. Now, I'm not saying reach for one in round 1. I'm not saying reach for one in round 2. I'm not saying completely deviate from your board. But if it's close, right? BPA, a position of need type situation. If it's close and I'm staring at my 2nd ranked guard and my 4th ranked tight end or something like that, I'm not really going to go away from that guard. And, so even if that guard is player, and we're talking 2nd round, player 64, and that tight end is player 59, I think I'm going to go with the guard. And we're just throwing things out there, but that's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't agree with the Johnston selection, says Sam. Yeah, a lot of people are starting to be out on Quentin Johnston. I'd be fine with a Quentin Johnston. Again, who's on the board? I really don't want a receiver in general round 1 anymore since we got Brandon Cooks. But who's on the board? If Johnston is one of the guys, to me, that would be saying, hey, Gallup, you on the clock, man. You on the clock. So I like him. J Money, what about Mafi late? Yeah. I mean, where is Mafi going? But I would 100% take Mafi. I think where I was talking about is round 4 is about the floor per se, whatever you want to call it, for Mafi. I don't really see him going beyond that in a draft where it's not a heavy interior draft. I think we're going to save Dane's draft for Friday at the Cochran Firm, but that was McShay's latest 3-round mock draft. Before we get into Stephen Jones's interview here, again, we're going to kind of break down a lot of what he had to say. Let's hear what our guy Los has to say. Good morning, my man.
Good morning, Scott, man. Hey, I hope you're having a great morning. Almost time for draft season, so hey, we're getting closer to football, which is crazy, man. Like I just imagine, like, man, 2 weeks ago we had this heartbreaking loss from San Francisco, but now on to better, on to a new beginning and on to a new opportunity and see what we can do.
Hey, everybody's 0-0.
Exactly. Only one team can raise the trophy, and hopefully it's us. But and let me say this: I think drafting an offensive line, I think that's where the Cowboys should go in the 1st round. And I don't know who that might be, but I feel like if you draft a tight end or wide receiver, yeah, you can add more weapons, but I don't feel like that's. I don't know, Scott. I feel like you're gonna have to find some playing time for them. And if I want my number 1 guy from the 1st round, I want him to be like not every snap, but he has to be impacting the play from top to bottom and be able to develop the way I want him to be in the next level in the NFL. And in my opinion, Scott, who do you think that lineman is? If we were to go to, like, get a 26 in a lineman, because like my idea was either Steve Avila, which he would be a reach. I don't think he's a for sure 1st rounder, but he has a good potential to be. But other than that, I mean, Anton Harrison has a capability to maybe putting him in the left, but I don't know. Like, I really do feel like you got to go tackle or guard 1st round, because I think that would give you the best bang for your buck on the Cowboys side. But that's my opinion, and I don't want to hear what you think, Scott.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Los.
No problem.
Kind of a perfect segue here. Kind of gave me the alley. We gonna oop it. We were joking about this yesterday, and Steven kind of basically what he's saying is what I'm saying here. If you don't get a certain position in round 1, the draft is not over. There are many offensive linemen that I could, obviously the top guys, the Skoronskis, the Parises of the world, Anton Harris, Broderick Jones. You name it. Any of those top guys, I would walk them to the Cowboys in round 1. But if they don't take an offensive lineman, if they don't take a guard, it is not the end of the world. And let's go ahead and get into the audio from Stephen Jones. They asked him about how he felt about the offseason, right? And he started to rave about the trades, and he started to rave about how getting guys back like Dono and adding pieces to where they can go into this draft and draft pure. Here is Stephen Jones on basically drafting pure in this draft.
Although we did lose a few guys, overall we felt like we're in a great place going into the draft, and that's where we usually try to get. If you're able to do that, then you can certainly be more pure in terms of your draft situation, and feel like that we can do that as we head into draft week next week. We think we're in a great situation to really improve our football team, but not be pressed necessarily to draft for a need or that type of situation.
And kind of going along with that, when you say be more pure in the draft, does that mean it's easier to just go off of straight like best player available in a lot of situations?
Absolutely. I just think if there's a player up there, I go back to previous drafts, a guy like a perfect example is a guy like C.D. Lamb. It wasn't necessarily on anyone's radar that we would take a receiver with the first pick, but when a guy like him falls down and we got that type of grade on him, you want to be able to take advantage of that. So we just feel like we're in that situation. We feel, certainly there's positions on the team, that you want to, beef up, but you don't necessarily have to do it with the first pick or the second pick, or the third pick as far as that goes. There's, we feel like we're going to be able to take care of situations, and that will ultimately get done throughout the draft.
Now, y'all know and let me pause that here. I don't side with Stephen Jones a whole lot, but this one I do. Like, we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves into a specific pick in round 1. As much as I want trenches, right? The draft ain't over after round 1. He said it right there. We've put ourselves in position, and kudos to them. Kudos to the Cowboys. They have put themselves in position to where in that first round at pick 26, I don't have to force myself to take anyone. I can kind of let things play out, or I can, if I want to get aggressive, I can do whatever the hell I want to do at that position. So, and I mean, to be honest, I kind of got to trust what they do here in the first round. They've been nailing the first round over the last decade. So I'm not going to really lose sleep, even if it's a guy or a position that, I kind of might have not wanted personally. They are able to sit there at pick 26 and play best player available because they've put themselves in that position. The draft ain't over after the first round. Contrary to popular belief of Cowboy fans, the draft ain't over in the first round, man. He also went on to talk about, obviously, the biggest position that everybody seems to be talking about for whatever reason, the tight end position, right? He specifically is going to mention the depth at the tight end position. But here's Stephen Jones on losing Dalton Schultz and the feeling that they have right now at tight end.
You lose a Dalton Schultz. We drafted Ferguson last year and ended up with a great value in Hendershot. We feel good about that position, but certainly you'd like to think, and certainly the draft's heavy there. Through quite a few players in those top 3 or 4 rounds that we think can, be like a Ferguson or a Hendershot and come in and really help us.
Yeah, I think, and he knows this, and we've been talking about this for quite some time. This tight end draft is definitely deep in the sense of you can find you some quality guys after the first and second rounds of this draft. He specifically mentions, if you listen there, the first 4 rounds, right? That's where they found Ferguson, round 4. That's where they found Dalton Schultz, round 4. And he even brought up Hendershot as well, where they got a Hendershot as an undrafted guy. So he's talking about trying to get value in the same way as that. So if we're kind of listening to what he's saying, and we'll get to some of the guys later, based off of what Dane Brugler was talking about and hearing, based off of what I'm hearing from Steven, there's one guy that they would probably take early, but then there's that cluster of dudes that they are fine waiting for at that position. And honestly, if that is their thought process, if we're going to guess here that that's their thought process, I can live with that. I can understand that based off of what he's actually looking for at the position. And he talks about that in this next clip. They ask him about traits, right? Like, what are you looking for out of that tight end position? And if it wasn't already known, if we didn't already know based off of who they signed, who they drafted, who they have brought in, the history of this franchise over the last decade plus, if not in general, he pretty much lays it out flat out for you to hear. So take a listen to Stephen Jones on what you're looking for in regards to traits at the position.
As college football's evolved, it's harder and harder to find the quote unquote, we call it the Y tight end, which is the inline guy who can block as well. Those are few and far between as we move forward. You certainly see them. We had a guy around here, Martellus Bennett, who a lot of people said could have, if he wanted to, could have put on weight and been a left tackle, but certainly had the receiving traits too. But it's hard to find both, and that's what you're. At the end of the day, that's what you'd like to really see. Ferguson's got a shot, to be a real efficient blocker as well as a productive receiver, which is I think what makes him have a chance to be unique moving forward. As we look in the draft, you certainly look for a guy who can do both, but you're usually going to see, guys who are, coming out of college who are very productive pass-catching tight ends that you look maybe to get a stalemate on the blocking side of things. But there are guys in this draft, who are probably have some strength as a Y in line, but also have some upside as a receiver. So, you gotta kind of see, what's available when you pick and what you'd like to see there. So, as I said, you just don't see a lot of those guys who do both. It's rare.
It's rare, Cowboys Nation. But he's showing you exactly what he's telling you. He's basically telling you. There's a couple guys at the top of this draft. We're talking about the Michael Mayers and the Darnell Washingtons. Now, he brought up Martellus Bennett, which I thought was funny because Darnell Washington has been getting that comp throughout this draft process, right? The 6'7" put on. People say he can play tackle. He's more known to be a blocking guy, known for his blocking prowess, with some upside to be a pass catcher, right? That means he's basically describing a Darnell Washington. But when you listen to that and then you hear about Dane, this is how I have it. This is what we talked about yesterday. Michael Mayer is their guy. He's probably their only first round graded tight end, if I had to guess here. And I feel like if you go and listen throughout the rest of this interview here, he actually brings up they have like 15 or so, maybe or so, first round graded guys. We brought up this example yesterday. If Michael Mayer is their 11th rated guy, 12th rated guy, whatever, and he falls to 26, I agree with Dane. They probably won't pass on him. They probably will take him. However, I think their contingency plan is Darnell Washington. That's where the thing, gets a little bit muddy. I'm just guessing. I don't know anything in that room. If I had to guess, I would think that they would hope he would be there in round 2. I don't know that they want to take Darnell in round 1. They may have that conversation, but I think Darnell Washington is their contingency plan in round 2. But with all that said, he brought up Jake Ferguson. He talked about he has the opportunity to be that guy because he is already viewed as that kind of traditional wide guy that can do a multitude of things. We talked about this before when Kincaid came up. Look, Kincaid's a fantastic receiving threat, but read between the lines with your own franchise. Excuse me. They don't want a wide receiver that's going to play wide receiver. They don't want to play a tight end that's going to play wide receiver all the time. They value having a guy that they can stick in line, they can put in the slot as well, they can move around, do blocking things. They value that. very much like a San Francisco values that, right? They want a guy that can do that. Now, when it comes to that tight end two, we've seen how they've had the tight end twos, the Blake Jarwins, right? We've seen them go get, rest in peace, Gavin Escobar, Peyton Hendershot. Granted, he was tight end three, but you know what I mean? They don't mind having that move guy. James Hanna was kind of in that similar mode until he developed as a blocking type of tight end. So they don't mind having that receiving threat as their tight end too. But they want a wide. They want a guy that they can do a lot of play action things with, a guy that can get dirty with those tackles and those guards and those linebackers. I think Ferguson is definitely one of those guys for sure. But if we're going to talk about BPA, if we're going to talk about them staying true and giving themselves the ability to draft freely, if Mayer or Washington, for that matter, in round 2, are there and they're just so far and above the best player on the board, do not be surprised if that's the pick. Do not be surprised if that's the pick. You definitely don't want to get blocked by Darnell Washington, T-Dub. He said, if you're a corner, do you want to get blocked by Darnell Washington? You don't. You don't. Swain talks about Kincaid's back issue. Yeah, he had to fracture back. You hope that the fracture back is okay for Kincaid for his purposes, and you hope he goes to a system that fits for him. Because look, if Kincaid goes to a team where they're asking Kincaid to be in line 45% of the time, that ain't his game, man. That ain't his game. Dallas says Kincaid will be a perfect fit. See, he wouldn't. You know, according to, I mean, run his back for you. According to Steven and what they look for, he's not a perfect fit for this team. Could you make him fit? Could you use him to his best of his abilities? Yeah, all these guys have talent that you can use to their best of their abilities, but they're not. Kincaid, in my opinion, is not technically a perfect fit for this team based off of what they're looking for. They're looking for a guy that they can not detach all the time. They want a guy in line. Now, if you go look at Ferguson's in-line percentage, he was actually in line a lot more than than you see customarily, right? You don't really see guys in the 60-70% often. But you want a guy that, if you want an inline guy, if you want a wide guy, pure wide guy, you want a guy that can at least be in there 45% of the time. Then they're going to be designated slot sometimes too, because yes, they're in the slot, but they're not far detached from the line of scrimmage. But that's technically considered slot. So that's what they're looking for, man. That's what they're looking for. Starter kit Duke says Dallas wants a balanced tight end. Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's get to this next clip. The last clip on Stephen Jones here. It's not about the tight end situation. It's about Tyler Smith. It seems like he pretty much laid out the plan for Tyler Smith, or what they want to do with Tyler Smith. He mentioned Mike Solari. I almost said different. Mike Solari. Finally, I've been waiting to hear somebody talk about this guy and getting these guys in the building. And he also gave praise to a dude who absolutely needs the damn praise, because this franchise, his fans, is crazy. But here is Stephen Jones on the offensive line and what they want to do with one Tyler Smith here.
I think that, at the end of the day, I think everybody would like to think that he's that we could keep him there at left tackle and have his progression continue, which has, by the way, been just, amazing what he accomplished coming from Tulsa and being able to step in after practicing at left guard virtually all through the preseason, and then stepping in for Tyron and playing the left tackle position as a rookie at such a high level. But, at the same time, I know Mike Solari, and they want the best five guys on the field. And I know here, as we start here yesterday, start to have our guys in here on a more regular basis, certainly we'll see what that combination looks like. So you don't ever rule anything out. I do know everybody, deep down would love to think that we could continue to play Tyler there at the left tackle spot. But, at the end of the day, Tyler's going to be for that. Tyron was last year, volunteering to move over to right tackle. Certainly we got Steele, who's one of our top offensive linemen. We'll just
Excuse me, Steven. Can you repeat that one more time? What did you say there?
Our top offensive lineman.
Who
we'll
was
just
that?
see how that works out.
One more time.
Volunteering to move over to right tackle. Certainly we got Steele, who's one of our top offensive linemen.
Yeah, because he is.
We'll just see how that works out. I don't think we're totally committed to anything just yet, but at the same time, certainly like the thought process of him, being able to continue to grow as a left tackle.
Certainly like the thought process of him continuing to grow as a left tackle. Tyler Smith is your left tackle. So now the focus shifts to left guard. Look, I'm happy that this is actually, if this is what is happening, this gives us some clarity on what they can do, what they should be doing in the draft and moving forward. And it puts Tyron Smith on the goddamn bench. And I don't mean that as if he's, a bad player or nothing like that. It's just that I am not counting on Tyron Smith. Okay? So look, I like Tyron Smith to be my swing tackle. Great. You just heard what Stephen Jones said about Terrence Steele. Terrence Steele is one of your best offensive linemen. There's no way in hell this guy's going to be some damn swing. So whatever Jerry Jones is talking about is foo-foo. Terrence Steele's your right tackle. If Terrence Steele's not healthy and not ready, you heard Stephen Jones talk about, Tyron Smith voluntarily moved over to right tackle because he knew, hey, that young man got the left tackle spot, man. He got the left tackle spot down pat. Y'all can continue to let him roll over there. Now, if for some reason the Paris Johnsons, the Broderick Jones, they want to keep him at left tackle. If a top left tackle falls to you and they view that top left tackle as a guy to stay at left tackle, then you have the discussion of moving Tyler Smith inside. But right now, he said it twice in there. All you got to do is listen. He said it twice. They want Tyler Smith to play left tackle. That's how they're going to try to attack this thing. Nothing is set in stone, obviously, because the draft has to happen. And they want to do the best five. But right now, they want Tyler Smith to be their left tackle. Period. And that's all I've asked for is to give him a home. Let him settle in a home. I have a plan for that. If he's going to play left guard, put him at left guard. If he's going to play left tackle, put him at left tackle. But this snip, snap, back and forth thing, this musical chairs up front, I don't think that is great for your offensive line and the cohesion and the one is better than five type of mantra. Figure this thing out. Now they may say, look, we'll figure it out after the draft, and that's fair. But I like that they have a plan for Tyler Smith, and I'm hoping that this plan doesn't get altered with another injury or something crazy what happened last year. So there you have it, Cowboys Nation. Stephen Jones, in rare form, actually saying some things that I can get behind. No, but seriously, shout out to 105.3 The Fan. There's a KC Masterpiece, something like that. Shout out to them for the audio. I thought they asked some good questions. They asked some really good questions. He also went on to talk about CeeDee Lamb and his contract extension. He talked about Dak Prescott and the Jalen Hurts situation in their contracts. It looks like CeeDee Lamb is definitely, something that they're trying to get done at some point, but they understand they got the fifth year option. You can kind of get that sense with Stephen Jones. Hey, we got that fifth year. I ain't tripping. We'll talk to him, but I ain't tripping. Let's get here into this chat. Trip Ace is always fighting with somebody in here. What is going on? Collins had no business starting over Steele. Oh, that's a couple years ago. Let's see here. So what are we fighting about now today? From what Steven says about tight end, I believe we're going Mayer or Washington at tight end. Yeah, that's probably their top two choices. Just a matter of where. I think Mayer round 1, and this is just a pure guess. Washington in round 2. They would love Washington to be round 2. Will he be there? That's a different discussion. I want to know what's good, B? Brandon in the building. I need somebody to come out and ask these general managers what is their feeling on Washington. My God, Darren, what are you talking about? Let's see here. Starter Kid says, with all the good DTs in NFC East, we have to be strong at left guard for sure. We seen what happened to Connor Williams was there. Tyler would be perfect for us at left guard. Tyler would be great left guard, I think. Problem is he has a higher potential and value at left tackle. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think it is a problem. I love the fact that Tyler has that ability, but I love it even more if I love the fact that he can play one position full time, but I would love it even more if they decided, hey, this is what you're going to do. Man, I got to get Duke on here, but I can't imagine having a guy in his first 2 years go back and forth as much as it sounds like y'all want him to go back and forth. Like, pick a side. What he did in year one was great. No doubt about it. I thought that was fantastic. You don't want him to do that 2 and 3 years into his career, especially if that's your first round pick. You kind of got to know by the time you get to year 3 or 4, hey, is this guy worth investing in at that position? Is it worth it? I think that, so Trip Aces is arguing with me today. I think that Lindstrom and Forniak are just reserve bums. Lindstrom and Forniak are reserves. I'm not going to go as far as bums. I'm not going to do that. If that's what you think, that's fine. But I'm not going to call those guys bums. But does anybody in their right mind with any sense of this team that follows this team closely or follows those two players, are you not drafting a specific position or player because of Lindstrom and Forniak? No. Lindstrom and Forniak are exactly that. Reserves. In fact, they're reserves, if we're being completely honest here. So what is your gripe here? You always in this chat whining and crying about something. So now you whining and crying because I'm not putting Lindstrom and Forniak on a pedestal? What are we doing? They went out and signed Chimo Edoga. You know? Lindstrom was a practice squad guy. What are we talking about here? We didn't draft Lindstrom. It was Lindstrom was signed as an undrafted free agent. And you're talking about as a McClay special. Now, you did say something like this before about Lindstrom and Linderbaum. Did you hear what Will McClay had to say about Linderbaum? Huh? He actually talked down his size because of what he saw was happening in the division with the defensive tackle. So he didn't prop up Lindstrom and his being a lightweight guy at the center position. Lindstrom is just, he's here. Let's let him compete and see what he does. He's a center, by the way. I don't know why he's even being brought up in here. But let's see what happens with him. But I'm not about to be like, hey, we got Lindstrom and Forniak. I'm not drafting a center or guard. Or I'm ignoring those positions. Give me a break. What are we doing? Tino said that's how much they think about him. I mean, yeah. We're talking about an undrafted center that played on the practice squad all year. You have no idea what he's going to be. We haven't seen him in real games in the NFL to even judge that. We're hoping here. Definitely picking up an undrafted tight end, says CJ. David wants to go get Hop. Man, shit, I mean, everybody want to go get D-Hop. Shaq. Hey, Shaq, do you mind if I use that? Here we go. Have you been feeling emotional lately? With whining and crying, call Boston Scientific. We make sure your whine's less and her whine's more. I love that. ED can affect your self-esteem and impact your most important relationships, guys. If you've tried pills or any other potential solution and it has not worked, there is hope. Take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad to learn more. There is a permanent satisfying solution to treat ED. Visit edcure.org, get the facts, find a urologist who can offer treatment options when others do not work. Again, that's edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific. I might have to steal that one, Shaq. It ain't hard, but you can be.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions.
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
We'll do it live.
That was fantastic. One thing I can guarantee about next Thursday, it don't matter who the pick is, boy, oh boy. Cowboys Nation is going to burn it down Seth Rollins style. And I'm here for it. I am here for it. Me and Foots will be here breaking it down, though. I think we're going to come on around pick 15. We're going to review the top half of the draft, talk about what's still available, see where the Cowboys may go. And then once that pick happens, get ready. Get ready. Appreciate your trips. You know how I be. Let's get, I don't know which one we got today, y'all. I don't know if this is Magic City. I don't know if this is Money Marv. Let's find out. Magic City Marv, what's goody?
What up, Steve? Blah, 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 blah.
What?
I'm listening to your boy, the one you turned up on the chat.
Yeah.
He be complaining all the time.
Yeah. Trips can get it. He can let you know how he feels sometimes, you know.
Talking about undrafted center. Unbelievable.
Marv, now look, I could get on Trips about that, but you can't. Because Marv, you love to tell us about all the ITT Tech Hall of Famers, Marv. Come on now.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to, whoever they draft, I'm cool. I'm not even tripping. Because they better than me. So they've been watching tape, 1,000 hours of tape. They know who's strong. They know who's going to be ready. And whoever they draft, especially in the guard room or tackle, your boy Duke is taking over. I know they working with Duke. I got to give them credit for that. That's good.
Yeah, if I was Dallas, I would try to find a way to kind of give him some consultant bread. But Duke really loves having that flexibility to be his own, and I don't blame him. You know, I know a lot of people ask him if he wants to be a coach. He's emphatically saying no. I have more freedom to do what I want to do this way.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But all the people vote to him every year, and I hope that one guy go to him because everybody be tearing him up. Ball. I hope he's there. If he don't go there, shame on him. That's shame on him. If he not working out with Duke every day, shame on him.
Or somebody, you know. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's other offensive line guys out there. Brandon from Trench Warfares is another, O-line, D-line guy. So, he definitely should be working on his craft for sure because that seat is in fuego.
Yeah, because there's another big guy. Who's that? Is that big? If you listen to the show, Hanging with the Boys, Nate is cold-blooded, man. Oh, my God.
Oh, Nate Newton, a 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champion. Nate know what he talking about.
Nate know what he talking about. That's why y'all got to listen to that show. Yesterday, Nate was like, he showed the picture. He called him Big Ugly. He's not trying to call him ugly, but he called him Big Nasty. That big white boy from Idaho, that guard
Not
with
familiar.
the long hair.
What's his name?
Oh, my. I can think of his name. I was going to tell you to look it up. Go
Somebody
back
got
after
it.
you do.
Somebody got it in the chat. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, go watch the Hang with the Boys show with Nate and see what he said. He going to show the picture of the guy. And that guy, he said, man, if they don't draft this guy, that's the guy Nate won't.
nasty at that guard spot, just destroy. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about Cody
I'm like,
Mount.
ooh. Yeah, Cody. Yeah.
Oh, he's from North Dakota State, brother.
Yeah, no. Ooh.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
big
yeah.
is
I
he?
like Cody Mount. Yeah, yeah. Sure.
How big is he?
He's not a huge guy. I think he's sub 310 if I'm not mistaken. I think he's kind of a little lighter, but he nasty though.
Yeah, so any one of them guards from UCLA, the guard from South Carolina, him or
Yeah, he's about a little over
TCU,
300.
I'll be happy for one of them tackles. It's just like you say, if B. John fall to him, I won't be mad. But there's so many halfbacks, like I said. But the main key that everybody keep talking about, I don't want no receiver, man.
Yeah, you called in. I think you called in Vacha's show, and you was saying now you out on receiver, and you definitely out on Quentin Johnson. So I remember that one.
Yeah, I don't want no receiver. Either one of them halfback, the tight end Myers, or I like all the tight ends y'all was saying. You get me the second or third, I'll be happy. But it's like you say though, they like the Georgia tight end. I want somebody that can block. I want to make sure my running game is on point.
Yeah, it sounds like they want somebody that can that has some blocking ability too. Let me give Lunda Wells some props though, or is it Lunda? I always get it. I never can say his name right. Peyton Hendershot is not a guy that was a blocker coming out, and I wouldn't say he was a great blocker this year, but Peyton Hendershot showed so much improvement in the blocking department.
Yeah, he be a whip.
Yeah, and half of it has to do with the will, right? Like you have to want to, and that's the thing about Darnell Washington. Like he is not a refined blocker, but he is I want to block. I want to put one of these, defensive tackles through the dirt, offensive tackles through the dirt. I want to take one of these little cornerbacks and drive them out of bounds, right? Like he wants to do it. So a lot of that is about the mental aspect, and you saw that with Peyton. Like Peyton really put it all in to do it because he knew this is how I got to get on the field. So. Shout out to Lunda, and if they do take, say, a Laporta or a Wiley or one of these kind of pass catching guys in day 2 or 3 of the draft, at least he showed with Peyton that if you got the mentality to want to, we can get somewhere.
Yeah, because I just want us to get, because they're gonna drop the alignment. Everybody know that. But
sure as hell
and
hope
the
so.
D tackle, their favorite D tackle is the Wisconsin D tackle.
Yeah, Ben.
They love him. Yeah, that's who I want.
How you know they love him? How you know they love him?
Man, they love Ben, man. You remember, that's the one y'all was talking. I kept telling you, if you watch the tape, he know how to penetrate. He penetrates.
Yeah, but how you know they love him? I like him. I like him. How you know they love him?
I just got a feeling they love that guy.
Gotcha.
But if I ain't gonna hate on Mozzie. They can train them to whoever Dan Quinn get.
Yeah.
They gonna, he's gonna put that, teach them. You know what I'm saying? So if they get somebody, I'm not gonna be mad. But I ain't gonna be on here like you just on your chat and everybody crying. Just like you said, after the show, they gonna call in your show and pissing a little tangent like a kid, and they don't know nothing about drafting. They don't know what they talking about. And I know last year, remember me, like you said, all the fans on there was cussing y'all out when they picked Tyler Smith. I seen them.
Well, Marv, look, I'm not saying that they can't have their emotions to the pick, right? Like I'm just saying that's what's going to happen. Whatever the pick is, the initial reaction is going to be burn this place down probably. And that's fine.
Oh, they don't.
But and that's cool. Then call in. Let's talk about it. Why you didn't like the pick and things like that. But yeah.
And look, I don't want the receiver, but if they drive receiver, I just got to deal with it. I got to cheer him on and hope he come on and at least give me 600-700 yards. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? I appreciate you coming down from 3 1,000-yard undrafted receivers that you was talking about last year. You remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, like we said, they in that West Coast. They get to run real routes.
Yeah.
They ain't no excuses. Me and you will be at that camp. I'm gonna be watching. I'm gonna see who's gonna turn it out.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna turn it out.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
in closing here, Marv, I think in camp, we're going to see a revitalized energy from this receiving room. I do.
Oh my God!
I got to kind of think back, but I think you saw some kind of unsureness down there with a lot of the young guys. I don't think there was a lot of energy from that position, really, outside from a CD Lamb. But I think you're going to see a difference in energy because it's going to be easier for these guys, man. But
oh my God! And it's gonna make the cornerback room.
well, we're going to stick to the receivers, but appreciate you, Marv.
Yes, sir. Good show, man.
Salute. Marv try to sneak them cornerbacks in there, but we be talking to Marv for 25 minutes. I saw you. I caught you. I'm on to your game, Marv. I'm on to your game. Look, don't let Marv tear y'all. I'm going to be emotional about the pick too. I'm not saying, when I say we, I'm including myself. If it's a pick I don't like, I'll probably burn this place down too for a few seconds. But then I have to, be rational here, be objective, and then we talk about how this fits and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun Thursday, regardless. When the state of the Cowboy fans, when we all get in our bag, boy, woo, it gets heated. Let's get to a couple more callers here. We got 786, then 559, and we'll wrap it up. What's up, 786? Welcome to the show.
Oh, it's me. You hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what's up, man? I'll be watching your show here and there, man.
Oh, thank you.
Just like, I'll be putting in on YouTube, and I've seen about 3 podcasts and shit. But I remember I tried to call this one time, but I couldn't
get in.
Connect. I guess I called too late.
You win now, brother. You win now. Appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I'm in now. That's all that matters, man. The pick is in, So
the pick is in. I like that.
The pick is in. What I was gonna tell you is, I was with the other guy, whatever his name was. I feel like we don't need receiver because I feel like we got receivers now with Brandon Cooks.
Sure.
And it's like, last year it looked like we just had CD Lamb. Gallup was weak as hell because he just coming off a little injury, and then the Schultz was a little safety, whatever, for Dak. And then once we lost Pollard in the playoffs, we didn't really have no running game because Zeke is washed up. I mean, you see it in the workouts. He looked fast as fuck, and then when he show up in game time, he's slow as hell. So really, what I want them to go with the first pick, if they were to go, I'll say if they get a Bijan Robinson, I'll be happy with that. If they get a Jahmyr Gibbs, I'll be happy with that. But if they don't get those 2 players, then I think it will be smart for them to go. I think they will go if somehow Nolan Smith falls. I don't know how that's gonna happen, but if somehow he falls, or we get a tight end, I'll say out of all 3 tight ends, Kincaid. I like Kincaid because Kincaid look like Travis Kelce. I don't know if it's just me, but he looked like Travis Kelce.
He the receiving
Michael
type.
Mayer looks like Jason. Yeah, Michael Mayer looks like Jason Witten, and then this Darnell Washington kid, he looks too big. He is good to be big, but not too. I feel like he's gonna be injury prone. So I don't even feel like we should really waste a pick first round. I think maybe second round if he's there, but nah. I don't think. If we do get a tight end late round though, I'll say Laporta. I feel like he will fall though, and it's good though. He came out of where Kettle came out of. All these motherfuckers, Kettle,
Hockenson,
Hawkinson, yeah, exactly. So all those.
Dwight
Exactly.
Clark.
Exactly. All those tight ends came from there. So, that's good. If they coming out of there, he should be good to go. But if we don't get a running back, then I want a tight end. I feel like that's the right pick. But in the second round, if we do end up getting that running back, I want a tight end in the second round. So vice versa. We get a tight end the first round, I want a running back second round, and then the third round I want the TCU O-line, the Avila.
Yeah. You think Avila's going to be there in the third?
think he'd probably be there in the second. I don't know about third, but that's I'm saying like vice versa. Like let's say we were to go O-line first round, and we go tight end the second round. I want the third round. You seen this running back? What's his name? I've been watching his highlights. They call him. Let me see.
There's a lot of them. AG. He played for Texas A&M number 6. Oh, A-Chain.
Boy, that motherfucker fast. That motherfucker 4.3. I feel like that motherfucker gonna do some shit. You know, some speed.
A-Chain he got that track speed, man. He a little jitterbug, but he got that track speed, brother.
Motherfucker move fast as fuck. I just feel like, bro, like I don't know. I just feel like we need electric. I feel like we're not electric. Like I feel like the Eagles are so electric, and I feel like that's the only team we gotta be worried about. I don't feel like Washington gonna do shit. I don't feel like New York gonna be on it. What they just got Waller. Like they're not really on that. So I don't know. I just feel like our real competition is the Eagles, and the only way we're gonna beat the Eagles is electric. We don't have electricity from last year. That shit was trash. That shit looked trash. I mean, we just had CD.
I feel you. What's your name? What's your name, brother?
Am I wrong? I don't know. That's what I was watching. I don't know.
You're not wrong. What's your name?
Oh, Frankie.
Well, Frankie, I agree with you, man. In a sense of we need some more electricity. We need some more, speed, juice, or what have you. We saw what happened when the Cowboys lost their speed guy, their juice guy in the playoffs. So I'm all about getting some more juice on this offense. But look, Frankie, appreciate the call, man. You've been waiting to get up in here. You got up in here though, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, can I ask you one more thing though? What's your take on the? I haven't been keeping up with your show and stuff as far as like what you think as far as like a mock draft, like for round 1, 2, and 3.
So what I usually try to do is one mock draft with the nation, with the fans. So next week we'll probably do a mock draft together. So make sure you tune in for that show, and that way you can see who we pick in those first. We usually do like a 4-round mock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't have one out for yourself, like without the fans.
Well, I'm saying, yeah, I'll do one for me, right? And then I'll do one with you guys. Is what I'm saying. I don't do a bunch. I don't do a whole bunch of mock drafts and all that. I don't do that. I like to do it, 1 or 2 times, and then that be that, because half the time I'm spending that time frame looking at the players and whatnot, trying to make sure I come on here and know what the hell I'm talking about when I'm talking to y'all.
Man, all right, man. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to get a little snippet of exactly of who would you go with first pick. If you were if you were Jerry, you go first pick.
I tell you this, I'm about them trenches. So, if I get me one of those top offensive linemen that fall to me, I'm taking one. And I'm not ruling out linebacker either. So it may not.
Speaking about linebacker, Drew Sanders, that motherfucker, man. God damn, motherfucker, that white motherfucker.
I like Drew Sanders. That motherfucker is nice, ain't he? All right, Frankie, let me let you go, brother. I got some more callers on the line. All right, man.
I'm getting all excited and shit.
It's draft season. It's Cowboys football. I feel you. I love the passion, man.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Much love, man. Keep it going, man. Keep it going, man.
Salute.
All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Boy, I brought up that linebacker. He said, "Oh, that mother Drew Sanders, a mother." I feel you. I like Drew Sanders, and I'm not ruling him out in the first round. All right, Rolo. This is now A to Z featuring Frankie mother. Hold on. I should have saved it. I would have saved you in there as that too. I would have saved you in there as that. Man, look, y'all passionate, and I love the passion. I will never, ever, ever be upset with the passion here. We just gotta figure out the time frame though, right? Like we gotta be mindful. But hey, phone lines open every day. So if you can't get it all in one morning, I don't mind talking to y'all the next morning or whatnot. So definitely call back Frankie after the draft, right? And or next week when we get the mock draft situation going and we can rap, man. Definitely gave me a little bit of the short dog vibes, bands. For sure. All right, let's get to the last caller here, 559. What's good?
Hey, man, this is Professor X again.
Professor, throw up the X. What's good?
Hey, man, I just want to...
Still feel dirty. I'm sorry, Professor O. I feel dirty calling him that, but what's good?
I just want to know your opinion and the fam in the chat. What do you think we should do with Dak, man? Should we extend him? Should we, give him another year to see what he could do? Because next year, I think it's $50 million against the cap. I think. What do you guys think?
Yeah, if it's for 50 something million on the cap next year, I don't think it'll ever be that. The answer here is extend him to lower the cap. I think that's what they want to do. When that will happen, that'll honestly probably be up to Dak's team. He's not upset what just happened with Jalen Hurts, and then you got Herbert who's next, and then Burrow, and obviously Lamar Jackson. He's in the driver's seat right now. There's really no rush for him. If they elect not to do it and he goes out and he balls out, that money's just going to go through the roof. The days of getting a quarterback, not even just a franchise quarterback, right? Like, because at this point there are maybe, 10 of those, but then you got the Daniel Joneses of the world who are getting 40 plus. So the days of trying to get you a serviceable quarterback that can start for you for, 3 to 5 years under $30 million are over. So I think it'd be best for them to get out in front, or if they don't want to play that game, they want to play let's just wait and see game. That's cool. They can go ahead and wait and see. But they wait and saw before, and it cost them some money. So, they got a decision that they got to make. I'm more on the extend them side, but Dallas has a big decision to make here.
Right. All right, man. Thank you. Love your show.
Appreciate you, Professor X. Yeah, Dak chilling. Dak is absolutely chilling. He's saying thank you for getting me Brandon Cooks. I don't think he's saying thank you for Kellen because that's his boy, right? That's his homeboy. But I think he will be thanking McCarthy when it's all said and done. And he has a very efficient type of year. Now, it all depends how they want to grade this thing, right? Like if he goes out here, they go 13-4 and 12-5 again, and he's 4,537 touchdowns, 10 picks again. But then we go in the division round and lose again. That's a conversation they probably going to have. But oh boy, if he has that season and we get to the bowl or we get to the NFC Championship game, yesterday's price is not today's price. He will 100% reset whatever market, Lamar, Burrow, Hurts, whomever, Herbert, whatever these guys, going to reset that market, man. So and I think that got to give a little bit here too. We did 4 years last time. I would like to see them do a little bit longer. That way we can kind of spread this thing out longer, and it helps. And I think he would be willing. I think the first time was more of a look, man. Y'all had me for 4 years on pennies. You didn't want to extend me. You extended the right tackle and a linebacker with a bum knee and a guy who held out of camp. And then you tagged me after winning the playoff game. And then you did it again. I broke my knee. You did it again, but then we eventually got something together. But look, they gotta figure this out. And it sounds like they want him there, but it takes two to tango. I think there's gonna have to be some compromising on both sides. That's all. Got to be some compromising. But Dak is not. He ain't rushing. I don't think he's rushing right here. All right, let's get to. We'll end this call for a short show, for a not a lot going on in the world show. This was good, man, and I appreciate y'all. Fun calls, good chat, and hope y'all dug today's show. Now let's get into these super chats. I did not read the one earlier from Towboat Ty. Appreciate you, Towboat.
Super chat.
He said, we need a guard in the first couple rounds. We have weapons already. What's the point in having 5 swords and no shield? Protect Dak. Hold on. Wait a minute, Towboat. You can't just be dropping bars like that. What's the point in having 5 swords and no shield? I like that. Protect Dak and he will strike. Yeah. I'm with you 100%. We're going to talk about Dane's draft on Friday, but there's no way, me personally, Skywalker still doing this draft. I'm in the room. I'm leaving out of that top 3, top 100, but definitely top 3 without a guard. You can say, well, Sky, you window dressing, or you read whatever the hell you want to call it. At some point, I'm getting me a plug and play guard in them top 3 rounds. Period. It's on Wichita. We don't wipe them 304. Shout out to Chris.
Super chat.
Draft the offensive guard from Lafayette or Brian Burris. I think he's trolling a little bit here, but appreciate the donation there, Chris. Man, what a bar. What a bar. Even only one guard. We better pray nobody gets hurt. Now, Danny, even if they draft 3 guards, that doesn't guarantee anything. You know? Doesn't guarantee anything. Mr. Bernie says, protect Dak and we go to the Super Bowl. I'll clip that one, Professor. No, I don't think that's the only thing you got to do to get to the Super Bowl. There's so many things. I think we might be a little bit detached because we ain't been to the bowl. We're a bit detached in reality. There's no one thing that happens that you get to the Super Bowl. A lot of things have to come together to get to the Super Bowl. Protecting Dak, though, it's a starter. That's an absolute starter. You know, it'd be wise to do so. Yeah, Frankie was a good call. What, Professor O, send me the clip you want me to cut up. I got you. Let's see here. Roller, no. Appreciate the smoke, 14. He said, love today's show, man. We needed that laugh. If you come in here, we can get you a little laugh. You can engage with the fans, chat it up with me, and you left this show feeling good. I done did my job, man. Whether it's 100 people, 10 people, 1,000 people, I did my job. Chris says Zay Flowers, Downs, and Addison all seem to be slot receivers only. Not Zay. He's short though, but Zay played a lot outside. I do agree with Downs and Addison. Both of those guys kind of primarily played in the slot. Addison's slight, and I worry about him at the line of scrimmage, but he's not too small that he can't play out there, but he is slight though. Brian Breesy, is that what you're saying? Drafting offensive guard from Lafayette or Brian Breesy? Are you not trolling? My bad, Chris, if you're not trolling. Brian Breesy, I really want to know how they feel about him. I really do want to know how they feel about him because, again, he still reminds me of a 3 techie type. And you're hoping you get the old Brian Breesy, not the Brian Breesy that got 2, knee pad, knee whatever you want to call them things on, and the ACL and all that stuff. But I'm not, Danny loved Brian. I'm a Brian Breesy guy later, but there's a couple other 3 techs I like better. The Bentons of the world. I'll take Mozzie over him. Cansey. I'd rather those guys right now instead of banking on hoping I get the Brian Breesy of old. You say you're trolling, Danny? Gotcha. The knee brace, yeah. Yeah, Zay is not your average slot guy. He's not. That's why he played a little bit on the outside. He got bunnies, and he plays so much bigger than his size. Like, to me, if we're gonna take a receiver in round 1, this is a little bit of the bias in me, and I gotta acknowledge my biases. Zay Flowers is my guy. They're not going to do it, but Zay Flowers is my guy. Jarvis Landry. I don't know about putting us in the Super Bowl, Nick, but I like Jarvis Landry. Yeah, I agree, Professor O. All right. Good stuff today, Cowboys Nation. Appreciate y'all for holding it down with me on a slow news day here where we talked about Stephen Jones and some quality things he had to say. Look, I'll give him a whole lot of crap, but I'm only right. It's only right if there's things that they do well, that I acknowledge that too. And the same can be said about their interviews, because I think their interviews trash for the most part, but I thought he said some quality things in there. Run this back if you missed it. Later on, we'll be on with Vach. And then Mo will be back on A to Z Sports Primetime today. Hit that like button if y'all enjoyed today's show. Sub if you're new here, you just popped in. Maybe you're like Frankie, you only caught a couple of these shows and you're like, man, I like what's going on here. Hit that sub button. Be a part of the Bomb Squad.
Bomb Squad!
By the way, I'm working on, I hate to even say merch because I don't know if it's going to turn into merch. We'll see. But I got all these tees coming. I'm about to go full black Pat McAfee. I'm about to get a whole bunch of black tees. I'm just be rocking a bunch of black tees, but I'm trying to get some of the sayings on these tees and whatnot. And we'll see how they look. And if y'all like them, I will try to give some of those away. I hate to use the term open up merch. I'm not really trying to make no money off of selling merchandise, but if y'all like them and there's a way to get them to y'all where it ain't going to cost me an arm and a leg, we'll figure it out. All right. But I'll keep y'all posted on that one though. With that said, we're going to press this button. Hey, Professor O said, I want a Boston Scientific shirt with that quote. Yo. I might actually just make the damn shirt. I can't say that. Shout out to Boston Scientific. Appreciate them as our sponsors. We out of here. Love y'all. Peace. Frankie only caught a few of those motherfucking shows. What a call.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Bomb Squad!